Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to WiscWeb's July Lunch and Learn. I'm Jenna Klenner. I'm the service coordinator for the WiscWeb team, and I'm joined here by Matt Goins, who's also on the WiscWeb team. And we also have Kate Price with us today. Kate is a designer for the Office of Strategic Communications Digital Strategy team. And as a reminder, UW Theme 2.0 is a collab between their team and our team. So we're happy to have her represent today. On the agenda today, we're going to do some service updates and reminders, and then we've got a slew of fun demos for you, including an intro to a new theme feature called the Site Actions Dashboard, a new launch request form demo. This is just something that we want to make sure you're aware of so you're not alarmed when you see that form look a little bit different. How to adjust permalinks. This is just something we're noticing sometimes, folks could benefit from maybe changing some things. We want to give a few examples there. Creating synced patterns. So if you're not familiar with sync patterns, this is sort of our remake or our solution for reusable content, if you ever use that in the old theme. And then Kate's going to talk through understanding and adjusting content widths. So first, for WiscWeb service updates and reminders, we did send an email about this, but we just want to kind of share this out in this format as well in case there's questions. But we do advise being cautious about adding AI-generated content into your WiscWeb site. Primarily, we want to make sure that you're reviewing the content before entering it, and knowing what it's doing is helpful. We ask that you please reach out to us if you need any help. And when you do reach out, if you could share details about what you tried when submitting the support case and then noting that you did have some AI generated content, that's extremely helpful. Really challenging for us to troubleshoot sometimes if we don't know those details. And then a reminder, I'll kick this off over to Matt. I think this is your reminder there. Matt, you are muted.
I know I'm yelling at myself, so I didn't want
Oh,
everybody else to hear me yelling at myself.
I saw the mouth moving and I thought
Yeah,
you
I'm
were
sorry.
muted. Sorry.
Saying some unpleasant things about myself. My bad. Okay. So I wanted to share the URL in chat, and I'll put it in the recording later. But in May of this year, the Digital Accessibility Community of Practice, Daniela Peters and Leah Bowers, they did a presentation on creating accessible PDFs as well as creating accessible documents. And that's a conversation that we've had off and on over the past year or so with in relation to the government requirements, which have been bumped to next April, but we'll get into that more hopefully in the next few sessions, just to encourage people to think ahead. Anywho, the URL is in the chat. It's a great presentation talking about using the various tools that like Microsoft Word has, like Adobe has for creating accessible content for your audience, for creating accessible documents for your audience. So go ahead and take a look at that if you are interested. I also wanted to just jump in and say something else about the AI generated things. One of the things that we've also run into, and I've run into this on the KB side of things as well, is AI is not what AI is doing is it's scraping the internet for answers. And if you're asking questions of it for things to do within your site, sometimes it's going to tell you things that you're just simply not allowed to do as part of the service itself. Understand that we, as the WiscWeb service, we keep things locked down to maintain security, to maintain scalability, and things of that nature. So oftentimes it's going to say, hey, you really need to edit this particular thing in the database. We're not going to give you that kind of access. So just be aware of the fact that AI might give you some answers. Those answers aren't going to get you to where you might want to be within the WiscWeb service because, again, we do things a certain way to maintain the service as a whole. So we just want people to be aware of that as well. We do get some folks sometimes upset about the fact that we do lock things down quite a bit. We do it to keep safe. We do it to make sure that 1,000 plus sites don't go down for whatever reason. So that's another thing that we've
Yeah,
run
good
into over the
point.
past several months, as well as AI being smarter than it needs to be.
Mm. I did want to pause just on that side. I saw two people unmute during that time. I didn't know if there were any questions, but if you have any, we can pause there.
I thought it was people joining,
It might have
and
been. It might have
and
been
I'm
that they were, yeah.
I'm also a
Okay.
I'm also a draconic muter. So if I see unmuted people and they don't say anything, I mute them right away because I don't want accidental conversations
Yeah.
over that. Yeah, so the caution
Yeah. So
here
Todd
is about
asks,
content. Yes. But my caution was more
well,
about
yes.
asking for things.
Yeah.
So,
And it's really just that that piece that Matt explained where, AI doesn't necessarily know the rules of the service or things like that.
yes.
So it's always good to just review that content before adding it in. Um, and making sure you know what it's saying, what it's doing. And then if you're just feeling unsure at all, just reaching out and letting us know that you're what you're looking to do is very
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah, thank you, Todd. All right, so I do want to intro a new feature that's coming with the theme release next week. You will notice this after we roll out that release to all of you, and I didn't want any of you to be confused or alarmed when you see this in your dashboard. So this new feature is called the Site Actions Dashboard, and it's a hub for issues on the site that need to be remediated. In a lot of cases, it's things where, maybe the feature is being deprecated and we need you to move over to the new solution. Um, it's going to display as a new item in your left dashboard menu. Again, don't be alarmed if you see that. I will show a demo right after this, so you'll get to see it live. Users will need to walk through some steps that are outlined in that Site Actions dashboard in order to remediate the issues. And as I said, this will roll out next week. And the first action that some of you may see if you're doing it is to remove old instances of the group block visibility setting. I don't expect you to remember this, so I wanted to give you a little overview of what that was. Historically, we had built our own custom solution for hiding a block. UW Theme Classic had a way to do this. You could hide a content layout row. And we built a solution in UW Theme 2.0 that allowed you to kind of wrap everything in a group block and then hide that group block. However, WordPress did release a very similar feature for block visibility that is available for the group block. So we're trying to switch people over to that where we can use WordPress core technology. We really do try to as much as possible. We don't want to be duplicating things they already provide. So that first action that will be listed there if you're impacted will be about group block visibility. The deadline for that one we've set to be Tuesday, November 17th. We wanted to give folks a couple months to just make those changes. We don't anticipate this one is going to impact a lot of groups. But for the folks who are impacted, I can imagine it might be helpful to have some time, especially where we're also doing migrations. Um, but as a note, after that date, if there are instances of the old group block visibility setting that aren't updated to the new, once we make that change to remove the old way, that content becomes public. So we really want you to move those over. And I am going to get my screen ready to show you a little demo of what this looks like, both the site actions dashboard and the group block visibility. All right, so you should be seeing a screen here that says Site Actions in the top tab. Does that look right to all of you? Looking for a head nod from Matt. Cool. All right, so if I were to just log into my site and go to the dashboard, I will now see this Site Action option here. And if I'm impacted by any of these, I'm going to see a number in a circle right here. If I go ahead and click on that, you're going to see the new screen. I do want to give a shout out here. We did some user interviews with a few folks on this feature, and they provided some really wonderful feedback on how we can improve it. And we took a lot of your feedback into consideration when kind of adjusting this feature to fit your needs. So you will see that if you were in those interviews, you will see some of those incorporated. Essentially, it says site actions at the top, and then you've got a little blurb that describes what these are and what you need to do. You're going to want to click on the title for each page that's listed. Go, and that will open in a new tab for you. You're going to fix the issue, click save, and then you want to come back to this page and click refresh actions. Upon clicking refresh actions, you should see that issue go away here in the list. So fairly simple instructions there. There is a chance that you might see more than one site action at a time. At this time, we only have one though, and it's that group block visibility setting, as I said. Underneath that heading, you'll see how to fix with a link to some instructions there. This really just links out to the WordPress core documentation on how to use their feature. And then we also did try to be really clear about that deadline for you. So it's going to be end of the day on Tuesday, November 17th. And then at that point, if you don't have these fixed, your content will become publicly viewable. Within the actual site action, you're going to see a table with a couple different headings here. The first is just the title of the page, the path in case it's helpful. If it's a post or a page, that is the post type. Status, maybe it's published or draft. Last updated date and time. And then something that we changed from user research is this used to say author field, but now it is last updated by, just in case that's helpful information for you. And I will talk a little bit about that in a second. I do see some questions coming in. Oh, those are maybe just comments from Matt, so we're good. Cool. So for this group block visibility one specifically, I did want to show you what that looks like in the old way and what it looks like in the new way so you can see it and sort of what you'll have to do as a site action. So here's a page that Andrea, our lovely Andrea, developer Andrea created, and it has both examples for you. The first here is the old hidden block solution. If I click on this and I open the right sidebar settings here with the block tab selected, I can see that there's this visibility settings heading. And here there was this little toggle to hide the group. This was our old solution, right? This was custom that we built for the theme. The new way is if you open the document overview, you'll see this little eyeball icon with the slash through it. If you have a group block and you want to make it hidden, you now click on the three dots, and I'm going to show it just so you can see it live here, and I can actually hide it for you. But essentially, there's this is now unhidden, and if I click the three dots, I can hide. Right? So that content will be hidden from public view. If I save the page, it shouldn't show up anywhere on the page there. And to view it again, I need to then click on the three dots and show. So now this content is showing back up. This is something that we've had a couple user questions about as folks migrate to. When they're migrating, they'll notice like content isn't showing up on the page. It might be because it's hidden. So go ahead and check that document listing and look for that eyeball icon. That is a great indication that your content is hidden. So this is what you're looking for right there. So to fix the issue on this page, I need to toggle the old solution off, which unhides it. And then I need to switch this over to the new solution. I'll click save. I come back to my page here. Oops, sorry, I wasn't supposed to click the browser refresh, supposed to click refresh actions here. And now I'm not seeing that page in the list any longer. We have a question. What about Google search? Rich, are you wondering if that content will appear in a Google search?
Yes.
Yeah, so that content should not appear in a Google search. Are you finding that it is?
Not yet.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
I'm just
Yeah, I think
asking, just
Just
yeah,
for the
this
sake
asking.
of it's content on the page, but you're not
yeah,
seeing it. I
Yeah.
want to make sure it's also not searchable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just that's the
We are
question.
weirdly without developers this month for our
Okay,
lunch and learn. They're all busy. I
no worries.
believe I believe the concept is that the content does not get rendered at all on
Okay,
the published side of things. So
okay,
there is nothing there for it to be crawled and or seen in the code or anything like that.
perfect.
There's some kind of WordPress magic that happens to make that happen, but we can follow up on that.
Yeah, we could do a little testing, but
Yeah.
yes, that's my understanding as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Um,
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. That is correct. Yeah, thank you, Nate. Nate
Sorry,
confirmed. I
Nate. I didn't see you in
completely
there.
omitted. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions about site actions?
It is a new thing, so once it does get out there in the wild and if you do interact with it at all, we'd love to hear more feedback. We did do some testing of it, but we're always looking at more ways to improve what we offer. So if you do see some things that either aren't working as expected or we could potentially improve upon, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, and I will say, like, we are hoping to limit the use so that it's not too noisy, but also so that it's easy for you to focus on the things that you need to change there. But also, you could have more than one action that appears depending on what's going on at the time. And where we can, I think we'll try to add the deadlines so that those, kind of go away in time. Um,
We'll probably also do some communications around these types of things as well. So you're not just seeing this in the site actions board. You'll also get some information to sort
yeah.
of, I guess, share with others amongst your group if it's content that's going to be affected. Uh, so you can make some decisions there.
Yeah, Adrienne, you posed a really great question asking, could you consider adding the deadlines for the site actions and emails? Yes.
Yeah.
I do already have a draft email for this queued up. I do have the deadline in there. Um, and we'll try to make sure to always include that as well. That's really good info. Um, yes, I totally agree. Some folks don't log into their sites frequently. We do see that. And that is a good indicator. Thank you for noting that. All right. I'm gonna
All
stop
right.
sharing then. Actually, I don't remember. Oh, there it is. I was like, where's the button? And I think it's back to you, Matt.
Yep.
Oh, no, it's back to me for
Oh no,
launch
no,
more.
I
Sorry.
took the share back, but yes, it's
Share
still you
back.
talking about those things. Yep.
Yes. So the next thing that I kind of queued up earlier with the agenda is the launch request form update. Um, so I will show a screenshot momentarily, but our launch request form is going to look a little bit different after July 29th. And the reason is that form creates a ticket in our support ticketing system known as Sherwell, and Sherwell is being replaced by something called Avanti Neurons in the future. After that switch happens on July 29th, we are meant to use Avanti's new platform for that kind of form technology, which means that it's not going to be embedded in the website. They don't have an embed option. It's actually going to link you out to the ticketing system directly. And that does look different than the website. However, don't be alarmed. It is still our form and you are submitting to WiscWeb. And it will create a ticket in our queue. Um, let's see. And just as a note, we don't have a ton of control over the design. So if it looks a little bit different, that is something that we can take that feedback, but we aren't able to directly augment it. So then if you go to the next slide, I can show you that screenshot here. This is just the upper part of the form, but you can see here there's sort of a banner at the top, and then kind of similar to what you see now, there's like a yellow box with launch considerations. I can't show this to you yet in a live view, so it's just a screenshot, but if you were on the page and could scroll down, the fields are there. They just look slightly different. But as you can see, it doesn't look like a Whisk website anymore.
Yeah, and
Um,
we'll be able to demo this in its reality next month because Neurons
Yeah.
launches at the end of this month. So
Yep.
yeah, we'll be able to show it off in the future.
Yeah, this and I had a question about this when I talked about this in a different context. Your forms are not changing.
Nope.
This is simply this specific WiscWeb form. So
Yep.
don't worry. Your launch forms using Gravity forms will still look the same, still operate the same.
Yep. It's not you, it's us.
It's not you, it's us. That's very true. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Oh, me. Okay. So now I'm going to hop in and talk about a couple of things here, and then we'll close out with Kate's demo of adjusting content widths. But the first thing that I'm going to touch on is adjusting your permalinks. So for those of you who are not familiar with what the permalink is, the permalink is your URL. It is your HTTPS slash, whatever, wisc.edu slash my first name slash, and that my first name, that's the permalink. That's the slug of your page, post, whatever it may be. And so one thing that we saw in the past, and we didn't really hit on it too much, were two instances where now that we have moved into this newer world of design and um, um, encouraging more SEO and better SEO. One of the things that we're also trying to encourage is taking a look through your URLs, your URL structures, and updating those permalinks so that they, one, make more sense, but also fall more in line with modern web practices. So the two examples that I'm going to touch on are pages with exceptionally long titles, you know who you are, and then duplicate pages resulting with the -2, -3, whatever it might be in the permalink structure. So give me a hot second here to just get out of there. And did I do this in prod or dev? He asks. I believe I did this in dev. Just a moment. Okay, here we go. Share. Just going to share the whole screen. Okay, so I'm in my dev site here. Bring the chat back up. And the two examples that I'm going to show off are I have two pages that are titled Matt Goins. If I just click view on both of these, you will notice that here's the first one that I created, just slash matt.goins or matt-goins. And then here's the second one that I created. And you can see that it is different content there. So a lot of times what happened in the past was, I shouldn't say a lot of times, but one of the examples that I have seen happen in the past is where you'll create an about page. But then you might want to create a new about page. So you just create a new page and you title it about. Well, because it can't have the same URL, it automatically appends that -2 to it. Or, yeah, appends. And I've seen this go up to like 5 or 6. People just, they trash a page, they create a new page, trash a page, create a new page. So what you can do is, if you wanted to keep this -2 one, what I would do is I would trash the original, since I'm not going to keep it. I would then go empty my trash so that it doesn't cause any issues in there. And then go in and edit this one. And you'll see over here on the right in the settings sidebar, here's that slug right there. And then I just will remove that, save it, and there is the new one there. And that's as easy as you can do this, and this will fall in line with the next example that I show, but it is that easy. But it is something that you need to be aware of, because those URLs do become search engine optimization functions as well. And also, it's hard to always tell somebody go to this URL slash something -2, -3, -4. Sometimes that gets a little like weird to provide them that way. So again, just another way for you to go about doing this. And you can always, there are two other things here. You can always go in and create redirects if you wanted to make sure that anybody who may have bookmarked the -2 one, you can create your own redirect and have it redirect to the new one that you update with the correct slug. And then the other thing that I would probably want people to maybe give a shot at is if you wanted to use the Yoast duplicate post plugin, you could activate that. That is a self-service plugin, because what Yoast duplicate post does is it allows me to add this rewrite and republish option. This is that edit in place concept. I'm going to create a new accordion testing page. I'm going to add in some stuff, and there's this republish option. Now, if I save it, the URL for that one doesn't exist yet because it's just a draft. But the moment that I republish it, it will replace the original that I was. There's some WordPress / plugin magic that happens behind the scenes. And now it will update the URL to be the accordion testing there. So those are two options that I would encourage people to think about doing as they're doing that permalink switching is redirect plugin. And if you really did find yourselves editing pages often, the Yoast duplicate page plugin comes in handy as well. Second and last example in this is the concept of the long URLs, because if I look at this particular page, you'll notice that there is a very long URL. It's a long URL to try to put onto a poster or something of that nature if you are trying to advertise this type of thing. So again, this is one of those spots where I might go in, I might go to my slug right here, and I might just limit this down to how to succeed and save it that way. And now the URL is a nice tight 3-word URL instead of a 20 or more word URL. So, and the reason this one we see this one often where people are, you know, you're creating a page based on some sort of study or some sort of presentation or something like that. Those usually are many word titles. Do we have to make a redirect if the old link is already out there? I I I would
Yes.
say yes, because
Yes.
the URL is new. And
Yes.
okay, so Jenna's saying yes. So
Yeah, so
my assumption was yes.
this is, I don't want to get too deep into fuzzy URL matching because it's a weird concept, but we do have a little KB doc on it, or it's a brief like mention in a KB doc. I'll go grab that. But
Yeah.
essentially our old infrastructure that supports UW Theme Classic sites does have something enabled that allows fuzzy URL matching, so it probably would have gotten you to the new page. But in our new infrastructure, that's not in place. Let me put that. So I would recommend a redirect for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Adrian asked, is there a feature in WiscWeb that can filter to identify problematic permalinks? I don't know that we have a way to filter it. My guess would be that would be something that you could potentially use either Google Analytics for, or Dubbot if you have Dubbot. Dubbot gives you you know, the list of your pages and things like that. So
Yeah, Todd asked a really good question there, though. If you have the redirection plugin enabled, there is a feature of the redirection plugin that will kind of note that you have maybe a 404 happening in your site, and then you can kind of automatically place a redirect for that.
yeah.
So I'll get that documentation as well if you're not using redirection yet.
Yeah. I'm unfamiliar with that, but All right. Oh, patterns. All right. Any other questions on the whole adjusting permalinks topic? Let's see, too much time because I want to leave Kate with enough time at the end to chat about all of her stuff because I could talk for days and you all know it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about synced patterns. The last couple of months I've been touching on patterns. Again, as Jenna said, patterns are one of the ways that we are encouraging people to use these in place of is probably not the right word, but use these as a way to create reusable content if you find that you have that type of content that needs to go page by page by page, but you don't want to edit it page by page by page. So that's where the synced pattern comes in. So I'm just going to go to this one. You can see that this was a demo of mine. But let's say, for example, that I want to go and add in a pattern that already exists. So let's say featured. I have these three here that are featured. And then maybe, oh, wait, I know the example I was going to use. It's the grad school example. Megan, if you're here, I'm going to use your example. So I'm going to go to patterns and I'm going to go to pre-footers and I'm going to put in this particular pre-footer here down at the bottom. So the example of this was grad school. They just went through the migration process and they did a lot of updating to their content. And one of the things that they wanted to do is they wanted to have a more robust informational area at the bottom of all of their pages. And so they created this particular footer here. They've used the pre-footer as their building point. And if you remember, I said you might use a pattern and then deconstruct that pattern to then create your own types of patterns there. So, let's say, for example, I'll just put in some things here. Registration, stuff, some other stuff. Again, I might put in, my social media type things. I might take links out of here and just put in general contact information. And instead of using the links, I might instead put like some text down in here. And then get rid of the group of links block that's right there. So this is that deconstruction idea of it's okay to take something that is already created and make it more of your own when you want to and when you need to. So I now have my pre-footer. I need to take the pre-footer out of that particular piece of content there. And so now what I'm going to do is, if you remember from last week, I need to go in and I need to detach this pattern from the saved version that I pulled in because I'm doing my own content within it. So I need to detach it so that I can then save it as my own pattern. So now that I have it as this, and maybe I'll rename it to pre-footer with contact information. Save it. So now I have created that particular piece of content right there. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to hit the three dots for the menu. And then I'm going to go down to create pattern. And so I'm just going to call it same idea, pre-footer with contact information. If you don't detach it, you can't create your own pattern. That's the thing. You have to detach it from the pattern it was built off of so that you can save it as your own pattern. I could add some categories if I wanted to this, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And then lastly, there's the synced option right here. So if I unsynced it, this is where I would have to edit this pattern on each individual page when I use it. A synced pattern is I can use this on multiple pages and edit the original to update it across the board. So I'm going to leave this as a synced pattern. I'm going to click add. And there it is. And you'll see there is that information. And so now what I can do is, let me save this. Let me just go back to my pages because I'm going to leave this one open. I'm going to go and I'm going to edit Batman. I'm Batman. And I'm going to drop in. You guys really get exposed to how weird I am sometimes. I apologize. I'm going to go into my patterns, and here is this pre-footer with contact synced pattern that I just created. So I'm going to drop that in, and now I've put that same pattern here. But what I can do now, you'll see there's that one, same one here as well. But what I can do now is I can go in and I can edit original. And now I can go in and I could say, connect with us. Social media information can go here. And I could change that obviously if I wanted to. I'll click save. I've edited the original. I can go back now to get to the page that I was editing. And now if I refresh this one, updated there. If I refresh this one, updated there. And all I needed to do was click on edit original. So this is that concept of reusable content. I can create a pattern with map, contact information, hours, support steps, things of that nature that I would want to use across multiple pages. And now I can just do it this way and update it once and updates it across the board. Do you have to do this to every page you want to update the footer? No, that's the concept of what I just went through, which is if I'm editing any one of those pages that has this footer on it, any one of them, I could have this on 20 pages. If I edit it on page 3 and I click edit original, make the changes that I want to make, click save, and then now I don't have to do anything else. Page 3, I updated. I clicked edit original. I'll go back to page 3. Oh, it's updated there. But I don't need to touch page 19 or page 20 because I edited the original. And I can edit that original on any one of those pages. But I have to make sure that I click edit original on those. So there's also some uniqueness that you can do by, like, I could create a pattern and I could drop a synced pattern into a random pattern as well and do some different things that way as well. There's some follows the person in the site, Todd. So it follows you in that site. We are looking at other ways of expanding the pattern concepts, but we don't have anything set in stone yet. But the my is you in that site. Yes, because it is a pattern that exists within the site, so somebody else could edit it.
It's a good question. I also dropped your training video in the chat. Matt did do a little video on patterns. It covers a lot of this, but in case you wanted to send that around to anyone, it does touch briefly on synced patterns.
Okay. All right. And with that, anytime you want to, but the other editor can't insert your patterns. Hold that thought, Todd, and then I'll yield to Kate. Sorry, Kate. All right. So if I go, let's see, Babalubi, Control Shift N. Let's go to WiscWeb Training. Let's log in as my generic user. Let's go to Pages. Let's go to Donate. Let's go down to the bottom here. Let's go Patterns. So my pattern's interesting. So my patterns equals site patterns, not your patterns. Someone has egg on their face. Yes, the other editor can indeed insert your patterns. And also edit your patterns. Okay. I think that's it. Lots of stuff with patterns. I'm more than happy to meet with folks. Also, if you ever want to touch on like designing patterns, I'm the guy who can show you how to create them. If you want to talk about like creating good patterns, like well-designed patterns, I encourage you to meet with Kate and Ketter with the design office hours as well to kind of touch on that stuff there. So, all right. With that, I yield the floor. Kate.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. Um, so I'm going to do a quick demo on content widths here. So this might be particularly helpful for folks who are new to the UW theme and just jumping into the Gutenberg interface and very understandably overwhelmed with all the different ways you can edit block settings in the UI. So there are 3 content width settings that are brought in through WordPress core. There's the default content width, which is what most blocks come in onto the page with. It's best for paragraph text and lists because it keeps line lengths readable, and that content width is about 800 pixels wide. Next up is the wide width. That's about 1200 pixels wide. It's good for images and multi-column content. So we usually recommend not going over 3 columns in the wide width in most cases. And then there's the full width. It fills the display edge to edge. It's good for hero banners and full bleed backgrounds. So content width can be changed in the block toolbar. So when you have a block selected, this little toolbar will come up and you'll see an icon. The icon that you see reflects the content width that it's currently set to. And there you can select one of the 3 content widths. So choosing the right content width can have a big impact on how users digest your content. Designing text with the content width that is too wide or too narrow can create an accessibility barrier when it comes to readability. So recommended line length is around 50 to 80 characters. Longer than this can make it more difficult for users' eyes to track back to the left margin of the next line to find the beginning of the next line. And shorter can make reading rhythm disjointed as users have to jump to the next line too frequently. So the default or none width in the editor results in the optimal line length based on the theme's default body copy size of 18 pixels. And so I'm gonna show you a little demo on a page I spun up. So here we have some paragraph text. It's at 18 pixels, which is the default base font size for body copy. As you can see, it's pretty wide. The lines are really long. There's a lot of words on each line. It's kind of hard to scan. So if we want to change that, here I have it in this little group. I'm just going to select each paragraph, go here to the block settings, and change it to the none or default width. And paragraphs come in by default as the none width. So gonna save. And that just makes it a lot more readable, kind of more of just a standard body copy width, especially for longer lengths of text. Down here, I have some cards that I built with the column block. The column block, just like most other blocks, comes in at that default 800 pixel width. And here I selected 3 columns. And you can kind of see the text here is pretty squished, breaking onto a lot of different lines, just, 2 to 3 words per line, not optimal reading. So I'm going to go down here, click the column block, and set this back to the wide width. And that just gives it a little more breathing room. This is a more narrow width, but for smaller amounts of text, like in a card, it's fine. And then down here, I created these little alternating content blocks with the media text block, using that default width, but same issue, the text gets kind of squished. So I'm going to change these to wide. Looks a lot nicer. Yeah. And so I think I want to put a background color on this group of cards so it kind of stands out on the page because it's a lot of white background. So I already have this in a group container block. I have the header, my columns for the cards, and that group block that's at wide width right now. So I'm going to set that to full width. And put a background color on that. So yeah, that just looks a lot nicer. Alternating background colors. So that's how you get that full bleed background color, which we recommend, if you have a lot of different content rows on your page, pop your content into a group block, set that group block to full width, and give it a background color. So up here, I have an image that's in a cover block, actually. And that is a great place to use the full width as well, for like a banner image. So pretty simple, change it to full width, can adjust the content height, the image height, select a focal point. Sorry, I'm not used to Zoom, so I'm moving my browser window around so I can see it because of the different pop-ups that come up. So yeah, nice full bleed hero image on my little Bob Ross page here. So yeah, in summary, it can be tricky using content widths for different types of layouts, but key takeaways: use the default width for paragraph text. It's what it comes in as automatically. Use the wide width for multi-column layouts, usually no more than 3. 4 in most cases gets pretty squished. And full width is great for hero images, great for container blocks that have a full bleed background color. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you, Kate. Those are lovely images, and that was super helpful. That is something that we get a lot of questions about too. I know Matt can attest to this as well. We've had a number of folks looking to kind of minimize white space. They always want to get things above the fold, and having more white space might be a new concept to you, but it really does help with readability, as Kate said. So it is important. And as Matt pointed out in the chat, the above the fold concept is actually not really a thing anymore now that folks are used to scrolling for mobile and tablet devices. So hopefully that resonates with folks. Thanks so much, Kate. That was an awesome demonstration. Questions about with stuff?
We do have one from Vanessa about, is
Yeah.
full width not recommended for side-by-side media blocks? Should you just stick to wide width to make the images bigger and more featured?
Yeah, so I believe we actually have a pattern with the media text block using full width. So depending on your content, full width can look great with the media text block. I think in that pattern, the images are like a 16:9 aspect ratio, so they're a little shorter. But yeah, just depending on the layout of your page and kind of the visual balance, that could look great.
And again, I encourage people to maintaining good design principles. Don't be afraid to tinker with the patterns. Throw a pattern on your page and play around with it to make it your own. But, again, stick to good design principles.
It looks like there's a question about, do the steps also work for content length on a featured content card? I'm just trying to remember if Kate, you showed an example of cards there. So I don't know if that's a question that's different from what Kate showed.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm totally
Sorry.
following your
Hi
question.
everyone, this is Adrian.
Hi.
When we've developed our own patterns using the featured content cards, and for whatever reason, it's picked up one set of that first row is a little bit longer, meaning the card itself, the field, and we cannot figure out for the life of us how to shrink the length of the card while all the other cards, all of the other rows below it are what I would describe as a standard length. So I'm wondering, is there some sort of setting on the first three cards that I'm not seeing, and so I can try these content what you just demonstrated with the content width to see if there's something that I can shake loose.
So you're talking about the height of the
Correct.
cards?
Correct. Height,
Okay.
length. Sorry. Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with like the length of text. It's just
Correct.
the
There's
space.
major
Okay.
white space at the bottom, and I've
Okay.
tried
Yeah.
removing everything, and it's
Yeah.
still there.
I would recommend maybe hitting us up in office hours for that.
Okay.
Sounds,
Sorry,
yeah, I
guys.
can't,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Awesome.
it's
Thank
hard to
you.
troubleshoot, but that sounds kind of wonky. Yeah, I'd love to take a look at what you're
Yeah.
dealing with.
I think we just talked about this week, Kate, when Ketter and I met, about when I was trying to make those news cards, and you were showing me how to make like a minimum or maximum height, or it's like a max words within the content itself. So I know there's a way to do it, but
There's
I don't remember off the top of my
This
head.
actually came up in the WP users community of practice. So I'm going to share a link in the chat for you, Adrian. There's Ketter had answered this question previously. I think it's related. Let us know if this doesn't answer your question. Well, heights. There you go. You can reach out directly to me if that isn't actually what you're looking for, and then we'll try to get you the correct solution.
And also, I guess, super encourage people to dig into the block settings as well, because there's lots of things in the block settings that allow you to create this kind of consistency. And then once you find it, duplicate. Use the duplicate option, because that way you don't have to keep remembering it. Because I struggle with the remembering part.
Yeah, and I just want to I see Laura your question about navigating when the title of a page is left justified, and and that width is a different width. I'm guessing that's like at the standard width, and the rest of your content is like at the wide width. So yeah, that is there is a way to change that to make the left justified page title sit all the way to the left so it aligns with your content. I can maybe put a brief summary in the chat. It's a little complicated. There's a toggle that in the UI that you have to find to get that working, but I can write something up.
Thank you, Kate. I also added a link above to the grid block as well, just in case folks are trying to build content from scratch. That documentation in the UW theme site touches on the fact that it's a good choice for equal height cards. So that might be helpful for certain situations where you want to do equal heights as well. Thank you. And thank you, Kendra. Kendra added a really nice kudos there. Their unit has just started migration and are updating block layouts, and they are impressed and appreciative of all the work that we have all done on the process, and as the tools are straightforward for non-web designers. So that's great to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kendra.
And I'm just popping, I forgot to share, Ketter put together a really great guide on content width. And Laura, I think you may find your answer on that page where she kind of outlines the toggle for blocks that are nested in a group block taking on that group block width.
Oh, God, yeah. That's such, we just confused ourselves. Kate Ketter and I met this week about some of this stuff, and we were confusing ourselves just trying to figure out how we would present this stuff. So it's, like I said, content width is it's a tricky thing. So don't hesitate to reach out when you're running into these issues.
Thank you for sharing that content with guide. As a reminder, there's a whole guide section on the UW Theme 2.0 site, and it's full of documentation like this. Some of those things are things that we're seeing as repeat questions that people have, especially as it relates to design. So do check out those guides for other insight into how to build up pages as well. There's even a lovely one on just like an intro to the block editor if you're kind of new to UW Theme 2.0 or working maybe with someone in your group who is newer to the concepts as well. Oh, we are at 1 o'clock.
We are at 1 o'clock.
We're at 1 o'clock, so we're going to wrap it there.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much to Kate for joining us today and talking about content width. Have a lovely week, everybody.